On today's episode, we're answering the question, no, we're not, because I'm on the wrong damn outline. I think a lot of it is the trust. And I know we've talked about this. We talked about this on Jenny and Sarah's podcast too, right? Like, because we trust each other, that I can be vulnerable with you and I can share my struggles. And I know that you give a damn because you show up in a way the next time that shows that you paid attention. And it makes me as a person, as a human, but also as your friend and the person that I work with, that you work with a lot, I want to show up in that same way. And so I feel like by just being good to each other through all this, we make each other better.
Oh, absolutely. And it has a rippling effect outside of our friendship and our working relationship, because it ripples out into the way that we talk to, speak to, and understand other people.
Yes.
I never knew as much about your struggles and your strengths as I have seen over the past 3 years. And we've known each other for 7. Right. But 3 years, like, it's a concentrated, holy crap.
Effort.
Yes.
Well, because you've made the dang effort. And I wish that more people made that effort in business. Like, there's that whole Godfather quote, it's not personal, it's business. And I think I could not loathe a more popular quote any more than I loathe that.
If I spoke to you in the it's not personal, it's business tone, we wouldn't be working together. Same in reverse.
Right. Like, because I don't care who you are, there's a person in that business, whether they're a good, bad, or indifferent person, there's still a person there. And the way that you treat people.
Words matter.
Words matter and actions matter. And again, on Jenny and Sarah's podcast, because I know we're talking about this, we talked about the same topic over there. But the fact that you have taken it on you, I didn't ask you, I didn't send you resources or links. You took it on yourself. I told you, I think that I have ADHD. I was diagnosed with it as a kid, and I think that this is the crux of a lot of my struggles. I'm going to start working on this. That's what I said to you, not in so many words, and you said, okay, self, I really want to work with her. We're doing this whole podcasty thing together. Like, I love her. She's my friend. I'm going to go see what I can find. And it wasn't like you bought books or read scholarly articles. You went on Instagram and you started following people who were making content about it, and you just started learning a little. And the fact that you did that, I know you're trying to talk, but I'm not going to let you for a second. But the fact that you did that is one of the nicest things that you can do for another human being.
I agree with you. And there's more to it behind that story. I was getting frustrated with you, and I noticed the early signs of resentment because I was struggling to understand your actions and the results from actions. I couldn't get it. It was my neurotypical brain was not understanding how you went from A to C to A, A1 to D to, I didn't get it. Like the
32.
Root, yeah, to 32 plus the color purple. Like, I wasn't getting it. And I was starting to see myself get frustrated. And when I'm frustrated, I build resentment. And once I've hit resentment, then I start tuning out and tuning off. And then the relationship will begin to deteriorate because I'm not interested anymore. And that has been one of my big learnings over the past couple of years, mostly since my mother passed away, that I need to do better in these areas. And that's one of the things I worked on. So when I started seeing the fact that I was getting frustrated and it was building the seeds and kernels of resentment, I was like, okay, if I don't want this relationship and this friendship and this working relationship, which is incredibly mutually beneficial and rich and fun and enjoyable and, a good giggle as well, then I have to find a way to work with this person. And I can't be Jenny, the neurotypical, straight as an arrow, type A-ish person, because I will alienate and deteriorate the relationship with my wonderful, awesome, non-neurotypical person.
Well, and one, thank you for sharing that because I had no idea. And so #vulnerable, but there had to be work done on my side too, because had I not said, I'm going to start working on this, right, that would have devolved the relationship too, because you would have been like, I can't, no. It also forced us to say, okay, we need to communicate better. I mean, really, you and I joke all the time that we are in a non-platonic monogamous relationship.
No, a platonic, not non-platonic.
Yeah, see, a non-romantic platonic monogamous relationship, because we communicate like partners do.
We have to. And I know that I was driving you nuts too, because I wasn't speaking and communicating in a way that
I understood.
That you understood and took you into account. And I know you were frustrated. And I know that, and there were times when you were like, I can't speak right now because of my frustration. I want to come back. There's some, I don't want to say something that will cause a problem later. I'm going to take a beat. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, we've gotten to the point where.
And it wasn't, and that's my own coping. And so now, of course, as we've gotten better at that communication, I'm able to say to you, hey, I need 5 minutes to fully process. And you can now walk away, not thinking the end of the world is near, but just understanding,
my trauma,
which is your stuff. And so because I've been able to understand your stuff and you understand my stuff, we have that relationship where we can communicate that with each other. And it just, okay.
Yeah, you need 5 minutes, no problem. Or, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Or I need to disassociate. Right. Or I need some ice cream because I'm about to flip my lid kind of thing.
Exactly.
All of those shorthands.
Shorthands.
Yes. Because they don't trigger me and they don't trigger you.
And it's so funny because I almost just did it. So one of the things with ADHD is we get so excited to talk that we interrupt. Mm-hmm. And I know that being interrupted is a thing for you. Like I had to drop the octave of the voice thing for you. And it allows me to be more aware of my actions, which helps me be a better human in general, because I don't want to be a cause of a thing for you.
And I also know when you have to get a thought out because your ADHD means that you have to complete it. And I noticed your physical and verbal methods and ways that you talk. So I can see that you have to, I got to finish this. I got to finish this thought. I got to finish this thought. And instead of going, well, I have something more important to say, so shut up. Instead of doing that, I can pull back. God, I sound like an a-hole, but I can really pull back and allow you to finish that thought.
And it's not about, it's so funny because I think if people were to look at us from the outside, they would see you as type A and me as type B. Just based on outward expression of personality.
And it's so not. Like internally.
That's not it at all.
No.
I saw a TikTok that was like, when you have two best friends, right? You have one that's outwardly the a-hole, but is like soft and snuggly and cuddly inside. And then you have the one that's outwardly soft and snuggly and cuddly, but inner a-hole. That is true with a whole lot. Like people are not just single faceted. and just really taking the time to get to know each other on more than the what can you do for me level is, I think, a really big key to a solid partnership and solid business.
True. And solid friendship, because at some point,
Yes.
there is the possibility that the business relationship may dissolve
For whatever reason.
for whatever reason.
Mhm.
And you and I have talked about this several times at this point. And that's another really important fact that we talk about it, because the business relationship started because of the pandemic.
Mhm.
And it started a little bit before. We were kind of dallying in the, hey, you can help my clients, I can help your clients kind of thing, but it wasn't
Exactly.
really formalized. And then the pandemic hit and Thrive was born, and here we are. But we don't know what the future holds. So could this working relationship continue? Yeah, I really hope so. I love it. But at some point, if it does dissolve, for whatever reason, the friendship has to be solid enough to survive.
Mhm.
And the communication of, hey, this is no longer working for me or for you, has to come from a place of, I value you and I want to continue the friendship and things like that. So will we ever not work together? I really hope not. I really hope we continue to do this for ever and ever, because it's just, yeah.
All right.
Hold on.